He's about the slickest nigga I've ever met. I hope this book does well because he deserves a bestseller. He really does, because he's the bestseller. He sells himself to anyone. He plays this humble pie bullshit like he wouldn't hurt a fly. He actually reminds me of a white serial killer. He bears watching. But the good thing is he got talent, and he's got a lot of bullshit. As Paul Mooney, I'm happy for him, and I'm happy if you buy the book. Thank you so much. Thank you. So that's what he wrote about me. You know what I'm saying? That's how. That's raw. You know what I'm saying? That's raw. When a nigga tell you to your book, you ain't shit. But he loved me though. He got a lot of love for me. So that was it. Yeah. So I enjoyed giving this. They call it a eulogy, but when I spoke on social media, you can look around, might find it online. But within like a week, man, she got like 700,000 views. Sometimes you don't know what's popular, what's gonna hit. Yeah, connected with people emotionally, I guess. And I was like, that's cool, man.
Kind of just to bridge the gap between then and now. And I'm not referring to Paul Mooney's death as then. I'm talking about the style and the era of comedy where you had people going in on each other about anything and all was love because it was jokes and we understood that. And a lot of people talked about his sexual preference, his homosexuality, whether he was, whether he wasn't. But you never heard him getting up in arms about it. In fact, he joked about it just as much as everybody else joked about it. I know people. Today, you can't do shit. Talking about DaBaby, for example, without somebody taking your money, without somebody taking your whole identity, destroying you completely for having an opinion.
Sure.
Where did we go? And what's your opinion on everything you see in particular with DaBaby and nowadays with people being so sensitive with people's opinions?
That's a good question. We hear with a softer generation. I came up through the 80s and the 90s. And it was it was definitely harder. You had to, everybody didn't get a trophy. It was first, second, third. If you ain't get the first, second, or third, nigga, you ain't get nothing. Okay, work out and get your feelings together and come out again. But white folks, especially white women, started the shit. I think they started talking about, you got to remember, white women got to stay home while their husbands started going to work and working. They made enough money for two people. Your mama, if she happened to be by herself, she had to get a job. So she came home, she didn't want to hear all that nagging. But a white woman could hear the nagging when the kid came home. I didn't wear no, bro. I didn't wear that. So then she told her white husband, who had a little more power, and he went down there into the Federation or whatever it was and said, all the kids get a damn trophy, because my wife is pissed off at this shit because my kids are crying. And I believe that's how it kind of started. And I'm being honest with you, that's why look how Karen's act. They want their shit done. So nowadays, man, we just become softer. Now, I do appreciate that we are a little more kinder, but we're going over the board, overboard. You know what I'm saying? With it. Now it's so sensitive, man. It's not even fun, man. Thank God I'm in a place where I can't be, culture canceled. Fuck it. I don't have no sponsorship. I don't make enough money. So y'all can't hurt me. If I say some shit, I'm gonna say it. It is what it is. I don't do it to to be mean. Sometimes in comedy, I don't know if people know how the formula for comedy is tragedy plus time equals comedy. But comedy is out of tragedy. You can't just say, how y'all doing today, man? My day is good as hell, man. My wife is sweet. She's nice as shit. We have a good time. People like, man, boo. But you say, man, my shit fucked up. My wife on my goddamn nerves. She fucked up. Now everybody start laughing. So that's what is embedded in tragedy. You know what I'm saying? In hurt. Comedy built in hurt and to come out and make laughs of it. But people are so sensitive that if you say anything that might be hurtful, that they want to be like, don't be hurtful. It's going to get ugly, man. Thank God I ain't got much time on this earth for another 20, 30 more years. Y'all can have the rest of this shit because it's getting too soft, to the point where you can't say nothing. Now, if you're being malicious and just mean-spirited, yes, I ain't down for that. But why can't you joke about gays? Why can't you joke about hood? It's funny how we can joke about ghetto people and crackheads, and we can laugh at that. But as soon as you say gays, like, hold up now. Well, how do you think the crackheads feel? They don't feel good if you talk about them. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Or a ghetto mother. Or mother who ain't got a lot of kids, you know what I'm saying? So, it's a fine line, and the line is tipping over to where it's just getting too soft.
So how'd you, in particular, DaBaby, his situation, he was on stage, he made a remark, what people will call homophobic. Mm-hmm. Since then, he lost 2 shows, a major endorsement, clothing endorsement, and it seems like by the day, he's losing more and more shows.
Sure.
How, in particular about that, did you see what he said, and do you think that people overreacted to what he said?
So funny. I read it. It was about AIDS, and if you even got AIDS, clap your hands, something like that, right? What is it?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, he said that, and he said if your pussy smell like water, raise your hand.
Yeah. Well,
if you're a nigga that don't do whatever you do in the back, raise your hand. So.
Yeah, he said pretty much as sucking D. Yeah. He made that reference.
Right. Well, yeah, he's not known as a humorist, so it wasn't comedy with him doing it. It wasn't. It might have been an ill attempt at a joke or something funny.
Mm-hmm.
If that was the case, it landed flat. If it's not about comedy and funny, then I think that, you know, he has too big of a fan base, man. His fan base is too wide to do that, man. And, you know, you got to, was it worth it? At the end of the day, ask him, was it worth it? Was it worth it to say that? If it wasn't worth it, then, you know, you might want to, you know, move past it and try to say it in another way. But if you feel like it's worth it, then you stand with your shield and say, fuck it, it was a joke, and that's what it is. I'm not going to apologize, you know? But, you know.
Yeah, since then, he apologized today. He actually did apologize today for it. So, yeah, he's from
okay. Well, and once you start touching them pockets, you know, you know, them pockets are serious. Yeah. And let's be honest, man, the homosexual community got some strong tentacles, man, you know.
Yeah.
You mess with them, it's strong, brother. It's strong.
People in some high places. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, Boosie today, I want to get your comment on this. He said that his prediction was in the next 10 years that it won't be, you know, popular to say you're straight. How do you feel about that? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of taboo to say you're straight.
He might have a point there, man, because everybody's becoming what you call fluid, you know, and mix and mingle, and you know, dick, pussy, booty, all of them matching up and clicking up in every kind of way and shit. And it's like, hey, you know, now it's almost like, and I'm hearing guys can be, you know, they call it bisexual. You know, back in my days, it was like, you know, once you do that situation in the booty, when never do, you gay. There's no bi, motherfucker. But some of these young girls are accepting guys who go bi. You know what I'm saying? Who try both of the situations. So, what he says, I can see that. I can see it getting to a point where people just like, you straight? What you up to? Why you only straight? You only like pussy? You only like dick? What's up with that? You know, so because everybody's rocking out and experiment, trying new stuff. You know, for the record, do what you over there, but I still like vagina. Vagina is still good with me.
Yes, sir. Always, every day and forever. What do you think about this? Keep on DaBaby, not DaBaby, the Bootsy, real quick. He was with the Instagram dude, real upset about his Instagram page being taken. He's calling it racist. It was racism going on.
Yeah. But didn't he say someone else did something and they didn't do nothing with him? But they also said this was his like third or fourth offense. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, Bootsy. I mean, you gotta understand, when we don't own something, you know, if you don't own something, and you're at the mercy of the person who owns it. So the person that owns it doesn't want that to be, you know, stated or said, then there it is. You know, Bootsy got to find another way. You know, can we find a black internet company that just, you know what I'm saying, that we just straight black and people just go there, and then that's, you know, and can take that, and we'll take that kind of stuff. If not, you got to play by people's rules. You know, it's like coming to somebody's house. If they say take off your shoes, then you got to take off your shoes. I don't care if you want to or not. If you say, man, my sneakers are brand new, it's clean as hell, dude. My rules is my rules. Now, if you don't want to be in my house, then don't come in here. So with Bootsy in that situation, I feel him. But brother, you with Instagram, you don't own Instagram. Some white man owns Instagram, and his rules are, it is what it is. You can't, you know, talk reckless like that and pick your war, you know.
Yeah, another thing that happened, man, in between the time that we had you last, I think it's been, like you said, a year. Mm-hmm. Bill Cosby, he came home. He came home to a lot of controversy, though. A lot of people still wanting to say that he's guilty. I haven't heard you. I'm sure you talked about it, but I haven't heard you give your opinion on Bill Cosby. Could you drop that for our audience? What's your thoughts on his situation?
Yeah, I do feel like age does play a role in sentencing sometimes. At his age, man, and what he did with Q's was years ago. I think the last girl was 7 years ago. If that was the crime he's talking about, but the ones 20, 30 years ago, no, we shouldn't sweep it under the rug. But I wish it could have been another angle. Because I mean, what did you win? What victory did you win as a woman? Just the fact. I mean, I'm not a woman being raped, so I don't know how that is. But if that is, 40 years later, and somebody's 80 years old and 90 years old, and you're happy to see him in jail, okay. I mean, you lived through the last 40 years with it. I mean, you functioned, and maybe they say they didn't function, but it didn't stop it. And to wait till the last times of his last couple of years of his life, I mean, I'm quite sure he's not the same man he used to be. But I can't speak for a woman saying, hey, she feels that, he needs to go to jail, regardless. I don't feel that way. I feel like, I wish that, to me, I know some women going to say, I don't care about no damn money, but I'd rather him have paid off, like the judgment would have been no jail time, but you owe every